Werewolves. They're bloodthirsty, shape-shifting monsters that stalk the night under the full moon. Legends blame their creation on a curse or other profane origins. The stories and movies, they're all fake. There's only one problem. Now you're a werewolf, and none of it seems far-fetched anymore.
Rule from Ruin, a solo role-playing game about being a werewolf. Looks pretty awesome. I say, we break it down. Hi, hello everybody, my name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here we do all different kinds of weird TTRPG things. But today, my friends, yes, we're breaking down Rule from Ruin. We're going to talk about how to play it right and let you know if maybe you want to pick it up. And also, I'm going to be treating this kind of like a pseudo session 0 for an actual play one-shot or even mini campaign that I'm going to be doing with this here book. I want to give a big shout out to Adept Icarus for just the amazing work that they have done here. I actually backed this book on Kickstarter a few months ago, totally forgot about it, and then when it showed up I went, holy crap. I've been reading through it. I'm very, very excited to have this thing. So it's yeah, I mean, it's pretty sweet. Let's hop over to the dang old top-down camera and let's read through this little book and let's maybe make a character and see what the heck it's all about. All right, so as I previously said, here we are in the top-down camera. I actually got the physical copy of Rule from Ruin, and in the mail, it actually came with these cool postcards, which we're going to open up, and the ruined journal for us to use. Now, I've played a lot of solo games, but I haven't exactly played a lot of journaling solo games. This one might be a little bit new for me, which I'm kind of excited about. Of course, I've always done journaling. As you can see, my pad of papers here. When I do solo things, I usually always journal on the side, even if it's not like a mechanic. But let's open up this book, shall we? Beautiful hardcover taps. We'll see. Rule from Ruin, the Lone Werewolf RPG. We've got credits here. So Katie Young and Will Moon. I actually think Katie Young, I got a comment on TikTok. Katie is a part of an actual play series as well. God, the name is striking me. But also Will Moon is the one that I've talked to actually on Instagram. Shout out, buddy. How's it going? If you're watching this. Anyways, yeah, so inspired by, which I always love to read here. We've actually got Iron Sworn, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, Blades in the Dark, The Wretched, Marvel heroic role-playing, classic werewolf movies, underworld movies, etc. I like that Iron Sworn is right here at the top because this is a solo role-playing game, and Iron Sworn is just such a huge solo role-playing game. I think a lot of folks who are fans of the channel know that Iron Sworn really isn't for me, but it's a very popular one. So we read this during the intro, but Rule from Ruin is a solo role-playing game. Let's see if we can get us a zoom going. There we go. So Rule from Ruin is a solo role-playing game about what happens when an ordinary person becomes the stuff of supernatural legend. Find the person who betrayed you and answer the questions that burden your mind. Why were you turned? Where is the person who turned you? And why are they running? Find clues, overcome your troubles, seek vengeance, and maybe even redemption as you uncover the answers in Rule from Ruin. Pretty sweet. So we've got us a table of contents here, so if you ever need to reference back to anything, fancy dancy, very clean, this page here. I like the double colors. It helps separate it a little bit. I'm a sucker for a good layout because books that just have walls of text are so much for me. I'm currently trying to develop some stuff, and I like this extra layout stuff here. So we have some author notes from Will, if you would like to read that through. Very cool. Let's do first and last paragraph. From the moment I saw the photo of Rue, the Rue Professor, Demon Street sign, in Bordeaux, France, taken by my friend, the brilliant author J. Rushing, I knew there was a story that had to get it out. There was a story in it that had to get out. Katie agreed to work on this game with me, and that's when things jumped to a new level. Heck yeah, guys. Very exciting. So what is this? Rule from Ruin is a solo writing game that uses tables, dice, hit better, and various game mechanics to influence the story. Die roll determines outcomes on tables and tests throughout the game. Various one-worded prompts guide you and give you space to interpret their meaning. Video just exported. I'm one guy, so I record and edit at the same time because I still work at 9 to 5. I don't know if you could even hear that noise. Anyways, various one-word prompts guide you and give you space to interpret their meaning concerning the character's progress. You'll use a character sheet to track your character's stats and outcomes that happen along the way. Of course. Journaling is optional. Okay, yeah, well, we might still give it a try, even though it's optional. What isn't this? It isn't cozy. It won't give you a warm feeling in your belly when you play it. It isn't minimalist or ruse-light or entirely about journaling. It is also not exclusively a solo game. You can play with a small troop of werewolves who share a betrayer, or with multiple people guiding the steps of a single werewolf switching off turns. If you like werewolves, contemplative horror and searches for meaning, and you don't mind trauma and violence in your fiction, this book is for you. You are in the wrong place if you're looking for a lighthearted game of pack dynamics, close friendships, and dog memes. Be sure to check the content warnings. I love that you laid it out front. Very good. I'm still in, baby. What is a solo TTRPG? We know what that is, especially if you subscribe to the Grouch Couch right here, because I do a lot of that. So, as you said previously, we're repeating a sentence here, but what is Rue from Ruin? It's about the werewolf grappling the betrayer's involvement in your transformation, and the journey of self-discovery will take you through a series of moon phases as you seek to understand your wolf side and build relationships while struggling to balance rage and regret. My dogs are playing out there. I don't know if you could hear them. There are several different ways to track your progress. Rue from Ruin uses a character sheet where you make notes, track items and troubles, update your betrayer progress, and improve your character over time. Additionally, journal your experiences and write an entire narrative with prompts to keep your story moving. Heck yeah, cool. This looks like an example here of the character sheet. The world isn't always friendly. I expect it's not friendly at all, is what I'm trying to get at here. Anyways, and you're just learning the ways of your dual nature. This life isn't easy and you don't have a guide. You may find yourself without reasonable clothing, haunted by people you don't know, or even poisoned or trapped by an adversary. There's even a chance of picking up a lousy ally, or worse, your childhood rival. Why did you say ravel? That was weird. Cool. What kind of dice are we gonna need here? Not everything is against you, but you must work to keep what you have. You'll struggle to balance your rage and regret, but that can work in your favor as you uncover more answers about your betrayer who turned your life sideways. This game's rules are designed to support and enhance your character story. There are tables to roll on, steps to follow, and moon phases to track. You'll play through 4 to 8 moon phases during each moon cycle. If you play without any journaling, one moon cycle should take less than an hour, but we encourage you to spend as much time as you like elaborating on your werewolf story. A full game of Rue from Ruin typically takes between 3 and 20 moon cycles to complete. You will need a D6, a D8, and a D12 to represent your attributes, using them to overcome your troubles and gain insights. I have some cool bloody dice that I'm going to try to use here, although I do have some really nice, actually, shiny prism moon dice here that I got from Sword and Stone Hobbies. Yes, a friend of the show. Use code COUCH for 10% off. Yes, we like these dice a lot. They're actually foam brain dice, but instead, we're actually going to be using some bloody dice because they fit the theme. So we've got a D6, we've got a D12, the D8 is my favorite dice, and we've got a D8. Beautiful. Say you have a broken bone from an unfortunate encounter with a wall while pursuing your betrayer. To solve this trouble, you must test either your wits to set the bone yourself, or your means to pay someone to set the bone for you. You roll the appropriate die to determine your success of your attempts at overcoming your trouble. So grab your favorite writing implement and your most reliable dice. Tell your werewolf story through investigation and some vengeance. And if the moon is right and your mood allows, find a little redemption in Rue from Ruin. Right. History and anachrony. Rue from Ruin takes place in an alternate version of Earth's history. It has an anachronistically modern view of rights of women, LGBTQ+ individuals, and people of color. Similarly, the game is not focused on the status of less developed countries and the atrocities of war and genocide. We do not intend for players to engage in historical accuracy, and we certainly do not endorse the use of Rue from Ruin to explore hateful and discriminatory themes. If this is what you're looking for, please find another game. Nice. Very well said. I like that a lot. And here's our content warning. Rue from Ruin deals with horror, loneliness, abandonment, emotional and physical trauma, harm, betrayal, bad relationships, mental illness, loss of personal agency, and uncontrolled anger. Please consider these elements before playing this game. Be kind to yourself. Very good. All right, what do we think so far? Pretty good so far. We're pretty happy with this. I think this is very cool, and I just love how thin and perfect this book is. I bet it has everything that we need, just right in there, in a nutshell. I love little books that are straight to the point. They aren't gonna badger and tell you about all the 5 million different variations of their creature. It's very cool. I like this a lot so far. Very well done. Okay, now it looks like let's learn how to play. So attribute tests and beyond. This section details most of the core game's mechanics for Rue from Ruin. Bookmarking is encouraged. You'll probably visit several points as you play. You can find character creation on page 15 if you'd rather start there. But let's talk about the attributes, huh? 5 attributes make up your character. They are ranked as 1d6, 1d8, or 1d12. You will assign initial values during character creation and may improve or degrade them during gameplay. Looks like we have sense, instinct, touch tone, touchstone, means, and wits. Additionally, attribute ranks that reach D12 may have bonuses in the form of pluses to test results. A plus is a static number added to the die results. Nice. When you increase the rank of a D12 attribute, instead add a plus. Pluses increase and decrease in place ranks if that attribute is maxed. Very cool. If your attribute rank reaches 1d6, no further ranks may be lost and no minuses apply. Sense is sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. Sense determines your starting power. Instinct, institution, gut feeling, and werewolf prowess. Instinct determines your starting ally. Touchstone, a grounded connection to the past and counterpoint to the unchecked werewolf within. Touchstone determines your betrayer. Means is money, assets, and social. Means determines your starting item. And wits is mental prowess, problem-solving skills, and inventiveness. Wits determines your former occupation. All attributes are part of the core game loop and are used to overcome troubles that your character encounters. Some more details here. We have former occupation. You had an occupation before your betrayer turned you. Maybe you were a drifter. Perhaps you're a professor. You will determine your former occupation during the character creation process using your wits attribute. Each occupation comes with a positive and negative impact. Items are our belongings, whether that's a notebook to record memories, photography, for the practical, a needle and thread, a screwdriver. You start Rue from Ruin with one item during character creation. Each item affects various elements of your character. You can gain more during the new moon phase or via search action during other moon phases. See choose an item on page 17. An item's effect is always active unless you lose or break it. Our allies are supernatural or otherwise. They help us in our quest to find the betrayer. They have different effects on your various attributes depending on who they are. As you progress through your story to redemption, you will be able to strengthen your bonds and prevent the potential loss of these helpful individuals with specific game action. You start Rue from Ruin with one ally during character creation. You can gain more during the new moon downtime phase, or via the search action during the other moon phase. An ally's effect is always active unless you lose your ally. Powers. Your betrayer gave you a blessing of sorts to go with your curse. You've gained a power. Because you are a new werewolf, that power is unstable and has a drawback until you tame it. You start Rue from Ruin with one power during character creation. The power affects a combination of character traits at all times. You can choose to gain some control of it during the new moon phase. If you do, mark a tick on your power's control clock. When the clock is full, you tame it, and there are two effects. You no longer suffer the drawback. You can work towards gaining one new power during the full moon phase. See choose a new power. You may repeat this cycle each time a power is tamed. Note, a power's effect is always active unless you lose the power or a trouble inhibits it. Now we have tests and clocks. Tests occur during an overcome action. Troubles state the test needed by listing the required attributes to success at a test. Roll the stated attribute with any relevant bonuses or hindrances. Unless prompted otherwise, the target is always 4 or greater to succeed. Remember that, 4 or greater. Pet my dog. Okay. Rue from Ruin uses the clocks game concept, which I have seen before a few different times. ICRPG, I think, is the one that comes to mind right away. A clock represents progress towards a goal. I think also Sentinel Comics RPG uses clocks, but they're like for enemies. Anyways, a clock represents progress towards a goal. Incrementing clocks will be a key in some downtime action scenarios and in resolving troubles. Clocks are simple circles divided by lines, with each segment denoting a tick to advance a clock. Make a mark or tick inside a segment. Ticking every segment in a clock means it's complete, and the outcome it represents occurs. There are action clocks and trouble clocks. I like that they use little moons for the art. They look like little bananas. They remind me of Death Clock. Banana stickers! That's what it reminds me of. Many of your actions during the new and full moon phases have predefined clocks. Cool. The action clocks require you to spend a new or full moon action to clock off each segment until the clock is full. You may refuse these clocks as often as you wish, and they reset after they're filled. You may reuse these clocks. You must draw your own dividing lines for the trouble clocks according to the number of moon phases. All right. I think I'm going to be referring back to this probably while I'm playing. So let's move on. There are betrayer specialties. Determines the kind of betrayer and the starting trouble as part of the character creation. Once you learn these things, you will answer a series of questions to define your betrayer. And after that, you're ready to start journeying either for revenge or redemption in Rue from Ruin. Ending Rue from Ruin, your werewolf may reach one of the several in-game scenarios. Although there are not many, certain troubles will cause an abrupt ending. Oh. Alternatively, you may become too rage-filled or regretful. These are unlikely endings. You should seek to unlock insights and complete Rue troubles to culminate in a final confrontation with your betrayer. That's all right.
Like, share, and subscribe. Just like, share, and subscribe.
All right, now we're on to rage. The dual nature of werewolves is at the core of Roof and Ruin. Uncontrolled rage is a part of you and resides in contention with the human capacity for regret. While rage amplifies wolf traits, the regret of past incidents helps control your wolf nature. Rage is a number from 0 to 9, modified throughout the game as you encounter troubles that impact you. You may also choose new or full moon actions that raise or lower rage. The following effects are granted based on the amount of rage you currently have. Cool. I'm sure we're going to refer back to this later. Rage in-game. If rage is either 0 or 9 during the evaluate step for any 2 moon phases, you will either succumb to the wolf or chase it away for good. Rage 0, rage 9. Note, once you fill a bubble, it is permanent. Ooh. Roll a d6. Oh, they have a roll chart for it? So potential roll chart. That's a 5. Let's say we have a rage of 0. You find a way to convince the betrayer that you mean no harm to them. Wow. Okay, we'll be referring back to that, I'm sure. Moon. The gameplay in Roof and Ruin follows the 8 phases of the moon. It should. We're talking about werewolves here, right? Every werewolf story starts on a waxing gibbons moon, the moon phase before full. The 8 phases are new crescent, quarter, gibbous, full moon, waning, third quarter, waning crescent. We have a cool little chart here too. It's fucking fun right there. A werewolf's nature depends on the moon phase. During a moon phase, during a full moon, you're always in full wolf form. When the moon is new, you're always in human form. The rest of the moon phases aren't so predictable. Each phase has a moon resistance value that can impact the chance of shifting among other things. Moon resistance. The current phase of the moon determines the moon's resistance. The higher the number, the less visible the moon, and the more control you have over your werewolf nature. The moon age also marks the age of your werewolf. As your moon age increases, so does your learning and experience. You will mark moon age progress on your character sheet for every new moon phase. And it goes all the way up to 20. And you're like constantly losing touchstone. If you don't have 2 or more insights, gain an insight. Otherwise, gain an attribute. -1 rank touchstone. Oh, this is a roll chart. 20. And every multiple of 2. Oh, goodness. Every multiple of 2 is... There's no 17. That's crazy. What? Why is there no 17? Was this intentional or not? It goes 16 to 18. But every multiple of 2 is a -1 rank touchstone. Moon age table. Okay, we'll learn more about that later, I'm sure. All right, now we're going to create our character. This is the important part of today's episode here, before we get into start playing. Yes. It's time to create your new werewolf. I'm wondering if I can make it in the ruined journal, which I do kind of want to look at a bit. It's been sitting there. It's got some simple stuff in it. A travel location generator. Each page of the ruined journal has a set of locations to see where our guy has traveled to. That's crazy. We also got some simple illustrations here. Not too shabby. We like that one. That's fun. They're almost like coloring book style. I think that's cool. Simple, effective. Okay, it's time to create a new werewolf. So follow the steps in the section below to give your character life. Creation includes defining capabilities through attributes, the character's past, and the start of their journey after they turned. Additionally, you'll create your betrayer and several vital facts about them. No newly turned werewolf is without its troubles, though. So you'll get a couple as a part of your process. Then you'll be ready to start playing. Set rage and moon starting values. Rage starts at 7. Underline it or circle it. I think, is there a character sheet in the back? Coming soon, the Lunar Call, a zine-sized resource. Ooh, spoilers. Concept art and logos. You guys made the right choice. You really did. Although that one's kind of cool. Here it is. I wish I could take this out and copy it. I don't have a copier. My first one might just be in here. Hey, Adept Icarus, is there a place where I can download the character sheet PDF? I bet there is. If I use some initiative, I might be able to find it. But I guess for now, let's just use this little book. I don't have a pencil, though. I do have a pencil, though. All right, we're good. Set rage and moon starting values. Rage starts at 7. Underline it or circle it. We're going to underline it. Oof, cool. The moon starts at 1. Waxing gibbous, directly left of 0. Full moon. Underline it or circle it. Gibbous, directly left of full moon? You mean like that? New moon, waxing. So the full moon is tomorrow. So waxing gibbous is the day before the full moon. Gotcha. Which is this guy right here. That's where we're at. That's where we start. And what does it want us to do? Underline it or circle it. Cool. We did that. 2. Determine starting attributes. You have a D6, 3D8, and a D12. Distribute them. Okay. Pretty nice little character sheet. I mean, it's very straightforward. Okay. Intuition and gut feeling. I think sense is really important. I kind of want to go with a D12 and sense so we can hear things and see things and you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and put a 12. Do we just write it in the back? 12 like that? Yeah, I guess so. Then we have 3D8 and a D6. So let's just go down the line here. 8, 8, 8, 6. Keep it simple, stupid. Determine the background. Who are you? What is your name? What are your pronouns? When are you? Choose a decade. Where are you from? Where are you at the start of your story? Who are you? The character that I always play. I love my game. Is a character by the name of Hex. Hex. When are you? So, Hex is my everyday guy. He is the farmer in all my fantasy one-shots. He is just a normal guy. He is the everyday man trying to get through life. And so taking a normal guy and putting him in a fantastical situation is something I've always loved to do. And so Hex is going to be a werewolf in this story. And if we're going to do 1980 because that makes sense. I Googled it, and the average job for an average guy in 1980 was manufacturing or industrial. So factories, construction, and transportation. So I think Hex the farmer is going to be Hex the construction worker. Yeah, if it'll allow me to do that. His pronouns are he, him. Yes, indeed. He's just an average guy. When are you? We're in 1980. What Earth are you from? You know, our world, indeed. Maybe a better one, so we don't got to worry about the bullshit, like it said in the book. Where are you at the start of your story? A place as above. For the purposes of journaling, consider a living situation as well. Oh, we get to actually roll for our former occupation. That's wonderful, actually. So that means I don't have to pick, and I like that a lot. So that's what we're going to do. Because, I mean, Hex doesn't need to be a construction worker. Hex, it says down here, Hex could be a doctor. You know what I mean? That could be a lot of fun. Where are we starting? So we did our wits. I don't need to hold on to that page anymore. I was still holding it. What do we have in here? North America, San Jose. We're in San Jose, North America, because that's what it says here in the book, and I'm totally fine with that. We're in San Jose, and Hex has a one-bedroom apartment. Rolling form your occupation, ally, item, and power. Roll on the following tables using the starting adventure attribute value. Sense, instinct, means, wits for each table. Not all options may be available depending on your attribute's size. Cool. So wits roll. Oh, cool. All right. So what is our wits? What did we pick? A 6. That makes, well, actually, I mean, let's really think about our stuff a little bit now that we're going with, I actually want to put a D8 in wits and a D6 in means, because it's Hex, of course. I'm going to ruin this page. I'm going to ruin this page, friends. I should have written it down on a different piece of paper. Take my advice. Use a different piece of paper. Okay, so our wits roll is a D8. Let's see. Former occupation. That is an 8. Oh, y'all can't see it. I'm not even going to touch it. I'm going to zoom out the camera so y'all can see it. Full on 8. And then I'm going to use the roll box from now on so I don't make that mistake again. Okay, an 8 is an inventor. I hate that. We get an extra starting power, but -1 touchstone. Okay, or an inventor. And since that was having a hard time, whatever, we're just going to use inventor. Unless, there's no way there's a character sheet in here, is there? If there's no character sheet in the ruined journal, that was a missed opportunity. But yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay. He is an inventor from San Jose who was turned into a werewolf in the 1980s. Very good. Now they are seeking the betrayer that hold responsible in... Okay, well, we haven't rolled for that. We get an extra starting power and -1 touchstone, so I gotta remember that. Our instinct is also a D8. That's a 2. Our ally is the head of sales at our inventor company. Allies and items. I don't know what the star is for. Interesting. We have stars, there's plus and minuses here, and then there's items here. What is what? Where do I put the ally? We're going to put it in the journal instead. Okay, now we get our starting item, which is our means roll. Also a D8. No, it's the D6. We switched it. That is also a 2. There we go. Bottle of fragrance. What you doing with a bottle of fragrance? Oh, also, the head of sales gives us +1 sense. And the bottle of fragrance gives us +1 touchstone. Lastly, our sense roll is a D12. Come on. It's only a 6, sadly. Our sense is post-cognition, hindsight. Hex has got hindsight. Oh, good lord. We like that a lot. Okay, now that we rolled everything, we apply the effects. Apply any plus or minus attributes and or rage is given by the former occupation, item, ally, and power, and apply current rage effects. See page 11. Oh, I see. I did this on the character sheet way wrong. Why, yes. Yes, I did. That's okay. We're gonna fix it. So, the way you're supposed to do it, actually, is you're supposed to circle these little attributes attribute things underneath, which I don't know how I didn't get that. See, there's a little circle you fill in. So we had a D12 there, we had an 8, we had an 8, we had a 6, and we had an 8. And then we get our bonuses from all of our other stuff. So we get -1 touchstone, but we also get +1 touchstone, so we're at 0. And then we get +1 sense twice, which puts us at +2 sense. Jesus, we have a lot of sense. Our touchstones is 0. Insight, instinct is 0. Our wits is +1. Oh, actually, our instinct is also minus. That paper is 0. And our means is at 0. Okay, now, and I've written down all of our items and stuff in here. I don't want to write too much on this thing. I've already kind of ruined it, but whatever. Okay, so apply current rage effects from page 11. Let's go back there real quick. 11, rage. So, rage effects. Number 0 to 9, modify throughout the game when you encounter troubles. Gotcha. So, our rage starts at 7. So we get +1 instinct, receive special trouble, random act of violence. See page 40. Sheesh. Oh, and don't we get an extra power as well. Do we roll for that? Okay, so one of the last things, because of our wits roll, since we're starting as an inventor, we actually get an extra starting power. So we're going to roll quickly again on the power chart here, right here, which is a sense roll, which is a D12. That is a 3, so we also get super speed. And yeah, I've just been roughly writing things in here. Before I actually start playing, I'm probably going to make this look prettier. I'm going to figure out the character sheet thing a little bit better before we actually start playing. Okay, but now, finally, last page. Step 5. The Betrayer. Roll touchstone to determine the Betrayer background. Not all options may be available. Gotcha. When the Betrayer, write the Betrayer specialty and your starting trouble on your character sheet. This is our touchstone roll. Our touchstone is a D8. It didn't come out all the way. But it was a 2. A pharmacy technician. Our starting trouble is Hunter. Hunter is a pharmacy tech. Writing it right down here on the bottom of the page. Bing bang. Very good. Answer the following questions about your betrayer and fill in the blanks on your sheet. What is their name? Their name shall be Stephen. Stephen Salzman. Stephen Salzman. How do you know them? How do we know Stephen Salzman, the pharmacy technician? We're Hex, right? We're the inventor. Stephen Salzman was married to our friend's sister. We have an ally. Our ally is the head of sales where we work, and he was married to their sister. Married to friend's sister. We met them at a Christmas party or something. Note, the betrayer starts in the same general location. Nice. Take the starting rue trouble. Track the betrayer. Set your starting betrayer die to a D6. Betrayer die. Starting a D6. Take the starting rue trouble. Starting rue trouble? Track the betrayer. Oh, gotcha. No attribute improvements and no rage changes during the full new moon. Oh, ass. They're currently here in San Jose. Ooh. All right, now we get to start playing. So we have our character. Our character is Hex. He is an inventor. What does he invent? We don't know. He's from San Jose. It's the 1980s. He has been turned by Stephen Salzman, who is a pharmacy tech. Stephen Salzman was married to our friend's sister. Our friend was the head of sales here at our invention company. We have post-cognition, which is hindsight, and we have super speed. We also have the special trouble, which is random set of kindness, which I don't think I read on camera. Hold on, let me go there. Random act of kindness. Consider what your character might do when they're calm. There is no anger, only a compulsion to do good. Example, you weed someone's flower bed. You assist an injured person during your travels. You save a kitten stuck in a tree. You didn't eat the last moon pie. Effect, you must use one new moon action to be kind. Our rage, when our rage is less than or equal to 3, greater than or equal to 3. It's pretty crazy. You start with the rue trouble, track the betrayer. This is a trouble that starts at all. Your catalyst for travel and discovering answers. Basically like a quest thread, which is cool. Only one rue trouble may be active at a time, and you must overcome them in order. Once you've overcome a rue trouble, you'll check to see if you are burdened by the next in the game step 2, which we're going to cover a little bit more once we actually start playing. But I believe, that this setup video and learning the game has already been long enough. So what I will say is that's our character. Welcome to Rue from Ruin. This is episode 1. If you want to see an episode 2 of Rue from Ruin of me playing as Hex the Werewolf, make sure to leave a like so you don't miss it, and comment down below maybe some more threads or ideas that could be happening with Hex the Werewolf in his 1980s setting. And if you have an NPC idea, a name for our friend, our ally, the head salesman, leave it down there in the comments below, all right? Because I will take it. Whenever I do solo plays, I always try to do them as community involved as possible. I like to allow you guys to to get involved with him, all right? So join the Couch Crew to subscribe so you don't miss all the dang old fun. And use all of our links down in the descriptions to help support the show. If you want to get this book by yourself, for yourself, I will do my best to update the link in the description so you can get it for yourself. That's right, friends. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Roll on that, weirdos.
Like, share.